Hi, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm your host, Kyle Shepard. We are open here at the zoo year-round. Don't forget, we have heated buildings and hot chocolate and some special events planned for you for January, including Kunnik and her 6th birthday and Helen and her 59th birthday. Thanks for watching. She was just 69 pounds when she came to the Louisville Zoo from the Alaska North Slope, thanks to a special flight from UPS. She's about to celebrate her 6th birthday at Glacier Run, and we wanted to give you an update. She, of course, is the wild-born polar bear, Kunnik. I'm with Jane Ann Franklin, the mammal curator and supervisor of animal training, who's going to give us a little update about Kunnik. And she's a little more than 69 pounds now.
Yeah, she's averaging up close to 600 pounds right now. She'll gain and lose 25, 30 pounds, but yeah, we're shooting for right at 600 right now.
So what's, besides her weight, what has changed in the last 6 years?
She's maturing. We do some testing where we monitor her hormones, and yes, she is a teenage girl right now, and she's doing what polar bears are supposed to do.
And what is that?
She's cycling normally. She's very normal, she's very healthy, and she's quite chunky right now.
So she's pretty important to the polar bear population in general. Why is that?
She is important because she's what's considered founder stock, which means she is a bear that is unrelated to any other bear in North America. And we know that for a fact because she did come from the North Slope and she is a wild-born bear. Great.
So tell us a little bit about her story. We know she's orphaned. You know, she came from the Alaska North Slope. So just tell us a little bit more about her story to update people.
She moved here after the ConocoPhillips folks saw her and took her to Zoo Alaska, and they got her back pretty stable and gained some weight and got her on the right track. Then she moved here. Since that time, she has matured into what we would consider a very normal bear. She does bear things. She loves to smash and crush things like bears do, bust ice to get to things. We try to set up things that stimulate her. She has some tug-of-war toys that are fire hose toys to try to develop her upper body strength, her shoulders and her neck. So that would simulate her trying to pull a seal out of the ice. Then there are the cold winter behaviors where everybody slows way down. The grizzly bears are trying to nap and kind of not necessarily would hibernate, but she is going to slow down somewhat. And so she's doing a little bit of that right now.
Right now, because we're in January, of course. Well, that leads me into my next question. When we hear she's got a personality, of course, our guests are always saying, oh, she has such a personality. What can guests expect when they come to visit her?
Typically, Kunnik is pretty playful. She's usually in the pool. She loves to hide things. She loves to stash things in places, and we give her toys that are the size for stashing. Certain logs, certain bucket lids, things like that that will allow her to hide things, and then she can go out the next day and get them. Now, the grizzly bears don't dive deep. Kunnik does dive deep, so she will hide things 10, 12 feet down in the pool. And then play with them when she wants to. She likes to manipulate logs. She likes to sometimes just hang out up at the glass and hang out with folks and offer a great photo op.
So she's 6 now, and you talked about the founder stock genetic material that she will bring to the population. When is she old enough to breed?
We probably will get a recommendation when Kunnik turns 7, which will be a year from now. And that we work on the breeding plan throughout the year typically. They will recommend that maybe another male that's less related, the least related male in the population may possibly get recommended to move here. Hopefully it's a younger male. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. And who knows what could happen between now and then.
Polar bears in general are iconic to North America, and they tell a very important story about our globe, our universe, our planet. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Polar bears are integral to the lifestyle of the Inuit people, and they are held in great regard, and they typically exemplify everything that nature can bring to people. Those folks depend on them to live and to survive, as the polar bears depend and need the ice to live and survive, and they are barometers of what's happening with our planet. So when the polar bears aren't doing well, they're kind of an umbrella species. Anything that's smaller or less or that they prey upon probably isn't doing well. So we have to really balance everything. And I think learning from these animals, they're not just, a lot of folks think they're just big predators. They're not. They have personalities. They have methods and different ways, and they almost have a culture of their own, depending on where they come from. And so, yeah, so looking at that and wanting to save all the bears is my job. That's what I like to tell people. You know, let's make sure we're only leaving footprints.
You just talked about learning from bears. What have you learned, you know, as a trainer who's been a trainer for years? What has this bear in particular taught you?
This bear in particular has taught me to always second guess myself. Whenever I think I know what's going to happen, she totally changes the game. She doesn't read any books. She doesn't follow any rules. She is, I can give you my best guess as to how she's going to react to something, but chances are she's going to put her own spin on it. She almost looks at me as if to say, you've got something in your mind? Well, watch. I'm going to do something total opposite of what you have in your mind. So I second guess myself all the time with her now. But she also is she's very interactive, and she likes to hang out with the staff, and she likes to just sit and be quiet. Late in the day when everybody's starting to get really sleepy, she likes for somebody just to hang out with her and just to sit there and just be next to her. She's social.
So if she challenges you a little bit, how do you stay ahead of her and keep her engaged and stimulated?
Oh, I get tired sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, somebody else think of something for her to do. She does typically have her go-tos that we fall back on, and we can rotate. And the rotation of the exhibit, moving her around, does engage her quite a bit because it does involve different smells, and all these animals go through different phases. And so they're all maturing. The grizzly bears are all maturing as well. So that adds a level of variability as well. But yeah, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up because they are destructive. They can put a hurting on a toy. Don't think you have a toy that's going to last for a long, long time, because they're going to crush it.
So Jane Ann's been with the zoo as a trainer for 27 years. What is your favorite part of this job?
Is interacting with the animals. Bar none. You know, having that moment, I can be having a really crummy day, and then I go and I work a sea lion, or I come and I just hang out with Cunnick for a while and maybe share some Chex Mix with her. And that's the most important thing that I do, is make sure these animals are well taken care of and everybody looks good and they're doing well and they're getting what they need. And just being able to be in the presence of them, because they're all magical and they're all, you know, I'm in a handful of people that's my job, you know. It's amazing. I get paid to do that. Wow.
Well, and you do it very, very well. And 27
Thank you.
27 years of service proves that you love what you do, and we thank you for that. And we thank you for walking along in Cunnick's story with us. And come out and celebrate her birthday, January 7th. She's going to be 6. We'll have a party. We'll sing to her. We'll have some cake and some enrichment items for her and some new toys.
Yeah.
So come out and see her.
I'm Richard. I'm the animal commissary supervisor here at the Louisville Zoo. I've been with the zoo for 16 years. I've been in the commissary 6 years altogether. Today we're going to make a diet for rock hyrax. We will be making 2 diets, one for tomorrow and one for the following day. We're going to grab the sheet and step into our produce cooler here. We have a list of items that we can use. We have to use 300 grams of spring mix in each diet. I grabbed a white potato, a cantaloupe, and spring mix. So we're gonna weigh out the spring mix. We have a scale here. We use coffee cans. They're much cheaper than what you'd buy from the commercial food store or from Target or Kmart or anywhere else. And we go through so much that we just ask people to start saving their coffee containers to use those. With this diet, the 300 grams of the spring mix fills it up almost to the top. Other diets, it'll be a quarter of the way, depending on what we're using. And then we'll use 50 grams of, I chose white potato for this diet. And you just cut that into a chunk, just a little bit off. And then we'll use 50 grams of melon also. The same thing, we'll cut that into a chunk. Every diet needs to be prepared based on the animal. So, and what it's being used for. Some diets are spread, other diets will be hand-fed. And when you do those hand-fed diets, you'll want to cut it in a way that when the trainer is training that animal, they're able to get it through the mesh with no problem so that their hands are never in danger. The most important thing before you do any diet is you should always wash your hands. That way you're limiting bacteria to the animal. So that's the first thing we always do is we go wash our hands. So this diet's done. We're gonna do another diet, same thing. It's also for the rock hyrax, and it'll be the exact same diet. And the reason we do that is we do 2 diets for each animal. And if you notice, out in front of me here, there's 2 different color sheets. When we do produce diets, we have a pink and a yellow day. And we'll do each of the 2 diets for that pink sheet, and that way we're covered for 2 days. So tomorrow when I come in and I do the yellow diets, I'll already have the pink days diets on there. We want the most complete diet for these animals as possible. We want to be able to get it as close to the diet that they'd get in their natural habitat as possible. So that plays a big role in what we're doing. We also want them eating it in a way that would be natural to them. The rock hyrax diets are done, finished. We'll take these into the cooler. And we'll place them on their spot on the shelf.
My favorite animal is gorillas because Candy comes over to the... Whoa, crap! My favorite animal is a giraffe. It's because they have long necks. So they can reach high stuff.
So Kindy is doing so well with her surrogate mother, Quayle. She still doesn't have regular exhibit hours, but you should be sure to call ahead and check if she's going to be out that day. We'll also try to update you on our website and our social media channels. And don't forget, we're open in the winter, so come see her in the winter. See her and Quayle.
They're very clever, aren't they?
I like animal contact the best because I like touching different animals.
Where does he live, Evie? In the underground, in the tunnels. How can you tell that he lives in the tunnels?
Because he goes down the tunnel.
He goes inside the tunnels.
We've been doing different activities that involves animals and different stuff at the zoo.
Come on.
The snow leopard could jump from here all the way past the Pepsi machines. That's how far this animal could jump.
LeBron, the jaguar up here, you'll hear him every once in a while, but he kind of barks. It almost sounds like a really loud dog. Does anybody like Harry Potter?
Another owl fact.
You think about Hedwig from Harry Potter.
Hedwig from Harry Potter. Yeah, that was a lot like Hedwig from Harry Potter.
Hunnick's coming over here to see us. Have you ever seen her play with her toys?
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny. There is a bear in the back of the truck. Inga's the mama, and this is Otis and Rita in here.
He looks like my dad. He's just laying on the couch doing nothing. The last time I saw a bear get in there was when there were the two smaller grizzly bears that we used to rough house in there. He wants to eat us. Oh, he doesn't. Hey. I was here last year and I'm here again. You get to see cool animals do stuff.
He turned around. He's very flexible. Flexible means that you can bend and twist easily.
I like it. You learn a lot and you have a lot of fun.
Here at Gorilla Forest, Helen is part of a gorilla group that we affectionately call the geriatric group, along with Gorilla Dimba. She's about to celebrate her 59th birthday, and at 59, that makes her the 4th oldest in the North American managed population. I'm here with Alexis Williamson, one of her keepers, to talk a little bit about what makes Helen so special. What makes Helen so special?
Helen's very special. She's well represented in the managed population. She's had 3 kids of her own, all daughters, and they've each had their own set of children. And we have 3 of her relatives here. We have Mashindi, who is her great-grandson. We also have Bengati, who is also a great-grandson. And as everyone knows, little Miss Kendi, who is her great-great-granddaughter.
Wow. So in addition to being having a lot of offspring and being well represented in the managed population, I would say 59 is pretty special, right?
She is pretty special. She's got her own sassy little attitude, and she makes sure that everybody knows that she's in charge.
So at 59, where does she stack up in age against other gorillas?
So she is the 4th oldest in the managed population of North America. The median age in the managed population is about 38 years of age, which means that half of the population has lived longer than that.
So at 59, does she get around well? Does she still climb like gorillas do?
For being her advanced age, she actually gets around the building quite well. She is able to climb and manage with ropes and logs just as well as any of the younger gorillas in the building.
Good for her. So when guests come and they see 2 gorillas in an enclosure, it's more than likely Helen and Dimba. So how would they tell them apart?
Helen tends to be a little bit more gray. Gorillas are a lot like humans in that their hair does get grayer as they get older. So a lot of times she's mistaken as a silverback. Silverback is an adult male gorilla. But because of all the gray, she's extremely old, so she has gotten gray just like we do. So she's a lot more gray than Dimba is and a lot easier to tell. Dimba also tends to be a little bit shorter. So if you see him up moving around, Dimba will be the shorter of the 2.
So personality-wise, are there personality traits that are different as well?
Absolutely, they're just like us as well. They've all got different personalities, and Helen's got quite a sassy personality.
So what does that mean?
Helen likes to voice her opinion, and if she doesn't like something going on, she's going to let us know. And if she's happy about something going on, she'll let us know that as well.
Now, I've also heard that Helen likes babies. True?
Helen loves babies. So if you do come out to the zoo and you've got little ones, she will come down, and a lot of times she'll sit and stare at the babies and kind of watch them and see what they're doing.
So oftentimes people think traditionally that gorillas are in a group with a silverback. So how does this duo work without a silverback?
These 2 ladies actually work pretty well together. Being their older age, they're not as concerned so much about what the other one's doing. They like the company of being together. They are a social animal, but they're not so much into the trying to figure out a pecking order and who needs to be doing what at any given time. So they just kind of give each other space and enjoy the company.
So you have been with the zoo for 19 years. I always talk about our keepers have been here for years. You have been here for 19 years. What's the best part of the job for you?
I think the best part of the job for me is that these guys keep you on your toes. They're always trying to outthink you, and you've got to be one step ahead of them. So you may come in with a plan one day of how your day is going to go, and it gets completely changed within the first 10 minutes. So you got to really be on your toes and keeping up with them. I started out as a volunteer 19 years ago, and I've worked with the gift shop, I've worked in guest services and several different animal areas, and just the personalities of these guys is probably the best thing about being here.
That's great. Thank you for your time. Come see Miss Helen celebrate her 59th birthday. We're going to have a party January 7th along with Kunnick's party the same day. We'll have birthday cake for her. We'll sing to her, and we'll have some special enrichment items to give to her.
I'm glad you guys are here. Some of the items that she has out there, she has some lovely white cod fillets. Happy birthday to you, and many more. She has some cream cheese, she has watermelon. Her cake has peanut butter icing on it. She is the most recent wild-caught, recovered female polar bear in the population right now.
So thanks for watching, and be sure to join us January 7th for Cunning's 6th birthday and Helen's 59th birthday. Thanks for joining us on the Wild Side.